and welcome to our live coverage of the Barclays Women's Super League right from here in the Lee Sports Village, home of Manchester United, who take on Chelsea. Now, it's always an interesting affair when these two sides meet. Chelsea have the advantage, but the Red Devils have set their sights at the top of the table this season, so a match-up with the reigning champions could be quite a treat.
Champions in front at Kingsmeadow. How about that? Manchester United on terms. Kevin! And they're back in front.
What a way to score your first goal for your club.
Brighton's cross, it's Kerr! And that should just about wrap things up for Chelsea.
So Manchester United have never beaten Chelsea in the WSL in 3 previous attempts, but it is 2 wins from 2 for United this season. And on home soil today, they'll be looking for all 3 points to keep their winning form going. The Blues come into today's match happy to have got most of their players back from international duty unscathed. Their last outing in the league was a resounding 4-0 win against Everton. So it is Manchester United versus Chelsea live from the Lee Sports Village with kick-off in little over 10 minutes' time. And I'm joined here pitchside by 2 WSL legends, and for their countries as well. Farrah Williams, of course, Everton, and Reading. Kelly Smith, of course, former Arsenal striker as well. Great to have you both with us today. It's a really tasty game, this one. And, you know, from the point of view from Manchester United, they finished just outside the top 3 last season. They are looking to break into that stronghold of those big teams. They've got 2 wins out of 2 so far, but I suppose this is where we really can gauge how far they've come. It's against the Chelseas, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, you know, appointing Mark Skinner as their new manager, I think that is stepping in the right direction for Manchester United. I think Casey certainly set the foundations for this club and this squad of players. And I think now he can build on that. And, you know, he's a fantastic coach. And this is a game that he'll be wanting to take points from, you know, to show the progress that he's done since he's been here. Yeah, and as for Chelsea, Kelly, look, they lost their opening game against Arsenal. Thrilling game that was. And then, of course, they beat Everton so dramatically. But for Emma Hayes, you know, they've come back from international duty. This is where, as the season gets busy, this is where she wants to gain the momentum.
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head, momentum. You know, we've had 2 games in. This is the 3rd game of the season. And they want games now. They want to pick up points and move their way up the table. But it's not been ideal because of the international break. Lots of players, I think it was 9 Manchester United players are away, probably more of Chelsea players are away. So they haven't got back until Wednesday or Thursday. So the contact time that both managers haven't had a lot of the players that have coming back on the field. It's been more classroom stuff, more walkthroughs, more set pieces, which is frustrating for a manager. But for me today, it's all about, you know, who can get their first touches on the ball early. First 10 minutes, so crucial in this game because they haven't been together for a while. So let's see how they go. How
disruptive is that, the break? I mean, it's something everyone has to deal with in football, but how disruptive is that for a manager and for the players as well who want to get their rhythm? Yeah, it's always hard, as Farrah would vouch for, when you come back after international break. You've taken your international cap on, your club cap's back on, and yeah, you're just getting used to your teammates again. As I said, like in the classroom, they've probably been watching all the tactics on the board, and it's just applying the methods now today in the game. Yeah, I think, I mean, in terms of that, and international breaks are very difficult for clubs. You know, players come back, you know, 2 days before they're due to play a game or travel, like what Chelsea would have had to done. So in terms of getting them on the pitch and going through stuff, they probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So I don't think many tactics would have changed for Chelsea coming into this game. Maybe personnel due to injuries, but this is still, it's going to be an exciting game. It definitely will be. Well, on the note of United, look, they had some big signings, big names leave the club. They've had new signings, and of course they've got a new manager at the helm as well. Mark Skinner has had a stint in the US. He is back in the WSL, and he had a long catch-up with Joe Curry during the week.
2 wins wins from 2 in your opening 2 games in the WSL. How close to perfect has your beginning to the season been?
Perfection would be loads and loads of goals and not conceding, but I think I don't think we can look for perfection. I was speaking to somebody yesterday and we spoke about there not potentially being perfection in sport, because I think things change each year, coaches change their philosophy, players change and grow in confidence or adapt their playing style. So you kind of ever get close to perfect and it moves.
When you joined the club in the summer, there was obviously a lot of change going on in terms of the squad. The likes of Tobin Heath and Kristen Press had gone back to America. Lauren James had joined Chelsea. How did you navigate that when you came in? Those
are wonderful players. What it does is it gives opportunity, and where opportunity comes, growth comes. And that's what will happen with the players that are, currently now in the team. They're seeing an opportunity to grow who they are. One of your players has been making her mark with England in the last week or so, Ella Toone. How impressive is she on and off the field? She's a wonderful. She's an energy bunny, so she's a really good space finder on the field. So with that, you have to help her control her emotions at times. She can be high as high and then low as low. And so I just kind of try and pull her into the middle ground a little bit. But she's a wonderful talent. There are others in the squad that you know previously, the likes of Aoife Mannion. Mm-hmm. You work with a lot at Birmingham. It must feel, in her case in particular, you've come full circle together. It feels like that, actually. But I feel that I'm a better coach since we last met. It's really interesting because you remember she then would speak to me about things we did at Birmingham. And I think now that I've been, I'm like, wow, is that where I was? It's like almost like a time stamp. How much has he changed from his time before?
I think that his energy and his character is so similar. There's little bits from the league in America that he's picked up, and he's kind of embedding that into training. And so I think he's added a few kind of, tools to the toolbox, if you like. And if we touch on your time at Orlando Pride in America, what was it about going abroad that really attracted you? What did you want to get from that experience?
We created something that we wanted to test on a different scale. We went from a wonderful team at Birmingham to of great people and really a good ability to a group of superstars. And I thought that was always going to be a point that could help me come back to a job where I knew it would be challenged and needed. And Manchester United is a club that needs somebody who can manage top players.
Yeah, well, he's definitely got the fans excited here. He's such a charismatic man, isn't he, Mark Skinner? I suppose Farah, he's not had that much time to implement his sort of ideologies here, but he's definitely getting everyone on board. There is an excitement here, isn't there?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, an excitement, there definitely is that. I think, having spoke to a couple of the players, I think they love the fact that he's here. I think he mentioned energy, opportunity, time for growth, and I think these players genuinely feel that under him. And I think he's a fantastic, as I mentioned before, a fantastic appointment for Manchester United in terms of going forward. He's had that experience where at Birmingham, he had the experience of developing young players. He's gone away and, as he mentioned, worked with superstars. And now he's come back and he's got a balance of both. And I think it's fantastic for Man United.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, how about from someone who always works with superstars? Emma Hayes, the Chelsea boss, is his opposite number. She's been speaking with Joe Curry as well.
Now that the international break is out of the window, how important is it that you and Chelsea start to build some momentum in this league?
I think everybody wants that. It doesn't help we play 2 games and then it's international break. But again, we're so used to the way the season is set out. We're really looking forward to this block of 6 games in 18 days.
Starting with United today, what kind of a test are they going to prove?
The same test I think they've always provided. Very, dynamic team. Attacking wise, I think Mark's implementing some different things. But ultimately not a lot to separate.
Finally, we saw Fran Kirby taking corners for England midweek. Has she been knocking on your door asking to do the same for Chelsea?
You'll have to wait and see.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Emma.
Thanks, cheers. Bye.
We'll definitely be seeing if Fran's going to take those corners again. But let's talk about the player who she's linked up with so well, Sam Kerr. Huge name. There's so much excitement when she joined the WSL. And she's not disappointed yet, has she?
No, definitely not. And Sam Kerr and Fran Kirby's partnership, the way it's developed since they first come in together, it's been fantastic. And we've picked out Sam Kerr here. It's just her movement inside the box, the way she likes to get herself between centre-halves and make herself really difficult to pick up. You can see here she scores from that. It's her aerial threat. I think her movement in the box, staying alert to opportunities, and ricochet, she's first onto it. So for me, she's a striker that Chelsea needed at the time, and she's proved, her worth in terms of the goals that she's come with.
She's a great player, isn't she? And, always there. I mean, she had a tough start, didn't she? But she certainly got going very, very quickly. And I suppose for Manchester United, someone who's a real bright spot, sort of the opposite side of the scale to Sam Kerr in terms of experience. Ella Toone, really young, so exciting, and a great start to the season for her already.
And two totally different players indeed. Ella Toone had made her debut for England and scored a goal. She got an assist, 2 assists against Reading, and then popped up with a goal against Leicester. So she started the season full of energy and full of confidence. And just here, she knows that she's got space here to turn. She's very clever in her movement, and just a nice little layoff and a great finish there. And she holds her runs so well. She arrives late in the box, which is why she's so good in her position. She just times it right, hangs out, knows the ball's going to be pulled back, and then it's just a calm finish. And I think this clip was from last season, out on the right, just composed in front of goal. She's a poacher in those kind of areas, so she's certainly a player that Manchester United need today in order to get the win.
Yeah, and I think all the players need to step up today, because this is a really big one, isn't it? OK, well, the teams are out. It's time to then hand you over to our commentary team for the day. They are the former Everton goalkeeper Rachel Brown-Finnis. She is alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Reshmin. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Mark Skinner might not call it a perfect start to the season, but there's no denying it's been a very good one for Manchester United. 2 wins from 2, 5 goals scored, just 1 conceded. But this will be a real test of just where they are under his newly begun reign, because Chelsea certainly have the pedigree. The reigning WSL champions, European finalists last season as well. But they have already tasted defeat this campaign on opening day to title rivals Arsenal. And although they swept Everton aside in their last match, that loss at the Emirates shows, Rachel, that there are vulnerabilities to exploit for Manchester United this afternoon.
Yeah, I think for the neutral fans watching that opening game, we were all excited for the start of the Women's Super League, but to see the reigning champions toppled at the Emirates in such style by Arsenal, and to see also, how strong Arsenal were, which is another horse in the race. We thought it could be between Manchester City and Chelsea, but on that opening day, everything has been kind of flung open. And Chelsea have had a point to prove really since then. It will have hurt Emma Hayes, the end of last season. Points to prove for Manchester United too.
Well, former Chelsea defender Maria Torres-Dottir replaces the injured Millie Turner, who dislocated her kneecap in the win at Leicester. That's Manchester United's only change. Ella Toone continued that fine start to the season by netting her 2nd goal for England over the international break. She only turned 22 earlier this month. Very much one to watch. Two changes for Chelsea from that victory over Everton. Niamh Charles and Melanie Leipold come in for G, who's on the bench after only just returning from international duty with South Korea. And Erin Cuthbert, who doesn't make today's squad. She suffered a head injury playing for Scotland earlier this week, so Chelsea are following the relevant protocols. She should be available for the FA Cup match with Birmingham on Wednesday. Lauren James, who signed from Manchester United in the summer, is not yet back to full fitness, not involved this afternoon. Ten major trophies for Emma Hayes, with Chelsea signing a new long-term deal in July. And Rachel, she has become one of those managers. We see it in the men's game. You look back to Alex Ferguson at Manchester United and Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. Emma Hayes has become synonymous with Chelsea as a club.
Almost an iconic manager as well for women's football, for the Women's Super League. And as you said, synonymous with Chelsea Football Club. And not just because of her squad that she's got together, but for all the pioneering aspects of what makes Emma Hayes on and off the pitch. She really is, a role model for everyone involved in women's football.
Well, that is the legacy that Mark Skinner will hope to build at Manchester United. This, his 3rd game in charge. And Kirsty Dowd taking charge of our match today at Leigh Sports Village. The experience that Mark Skinner has in the WSL with Birmingham, the spell in the USA with Orlando Pride, which was a tricky one to start with, but he was on a very good run when he left them in July to replace Casey Stoney, who stepped down here. Certainly has the experience in the game, in the WSL. as does that woman, Fran Kirby, 1 away from 50 Women's Super League goals in her career. And what a young talent she is as well. Ella Toone in such good form at the start of this season. Manchester United have never beaten Chelsea in the WSL. Will it be 4th time lucky for the hosts against the reigning champions? And the players take the knee at the start of this match. The message against racism still loud and clear. So we are underway. Huge test for Manchester United. That 100% record so far. Early stages, yes, in this season. But it's been such a good start to the campaign. Not a good start in midfield, though. Kerr, almost a terrible start for Manchester United. Strong save by Mary Earps. There's the danger that Chelsea pose inside the opening seconds.
Cause their own problems, Manchester United. Sloppy pass out from Mary Earps to Torres Dottir. Couldn't quite control it, just outstretched leg. And you did not want to give Sam Kerr a chance so early on. Lucky escape.
Charles with the delivery, powerfully away by Torres Dottir, the former Chelsea defender. Throw goes Chelsea's way. But Chelsea, the defending WSL champions, starting with intent.
Torres Dottir actually did really well to put some pressure on Sam Kerr on a non-favoured foot, put her on her left.
Heels from Manchester United that had gone out. Referee Kirsty Dowell agrees. Guro Reiten with the wry smile.
You can see Chelsea's intention right from the kickoff. Pernilla Harder put pressure. I think it was on Katie Zellum. Pinned Manchester United back, and see what Emma Hayes has instilled in her side.
And they've given it away again. Kerr, second chance to Kirby. Must be, surely is. Chelsea take the lead inside the opening 2 minutes, and Fran Kirby has her 50th WSL goal. What a start for Chelsea.
Well, it was on the cards early on. Manchester United caused themselves problems and couldn't get out. Yes, she might have a philosophy to play out the back, but when you see the likes of Sam Kerr, Fran Kirby, Pernilla Harder absolutely chomping at the bit, it could be time to change that tactic. Playing out from that goal kick, Mary Earps out short. They never got out of trouble. Turnover of possession, and it couldn't have been an easier 50th goal for Fran Kirby in the WSL.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Rachel Brown-Finnis. Of the 50 she scored, that will be right up there as one of the most straightforward, and it's that combination again. Sam Kerr to Fran Kirby.
Yeah, and scramble to try and save the goal. Mary Earps took a knock, I think, off one of her own players sliding in. Mary Earps, who'll be riding on the crest of a wave with regards to confidence in her 2 starts that she's been rewarded with for a good early form this season from Serena Wiegman, the New England manager. Maybe a bit rusty after not having to do too much against the 2 England games.
Yes, North Macedonia and Luxembourg dispatched easily by England over the international break. Earps with very little to do, 2 clean sheets as Manchester United face a mountain to climb early on. Here is Carter. Toone chasing down, but we talk about perfection. Mark Skinner not liking to use that word in a Manchester United sense, always things to improve, which is fair enough, but this is by and large been the perfect start for Chelsea, although not the perfect touch there from Sam Kerr.
If you want to know how to play out the back, just how what Chelsea did there, creating angles, the tempo of the pass, the checking of the movement's got to be really sharp, one touch, all of those things. That is a little exhibition there of how Chelsea played out the back and very nearly got in to the attacking third without Manchester United touching the ball.
Over the head of Toone, Carter miscue. Bright is there for Chelsea. But again, they steal the ball, win the free kick as well, handball.
See what Manchester United doing, very narrow when they're out of possession, when Chelsea do have the ball, to try and make it congested and difficult to play through the middle.
Wright almost got herself into a tangle there. Kirby left it. Not quite on the same wavelength as Kerr on that occasion. Batcher. Earps under pressure. This is the question though, isn't it, Rachel? If your philosophy is to play out from the back, do you change that early doors?
Yeah,
when a side like Chelsea are harrying you?
Philosophies are kind of an undercurrent, but the actual product is not black and white. It can materialise in different ways. So the philosophy is, yes, you want to do that, but from a goalkeeper's perspective, which was my former job, you've got to make the right decision at the right time. And sometimes that is clearing your lines. It is getting your team up the pitch. Because currently, Chelsea.
Brilliantly won away though. Magdalena Eriksson dispossessed. Manchester United come forward soon, looking for Hansen. Well won back by Bright.
Yeah, Kirsty Hansen down that right-hand side has been pretty much never present for Manchester United last season, this season.
And this is more good work from the home side. Staniforth. Berger watches it, ends up in the back of the net, but the ball doesn't, and that's the main thing.
Finally something to get the Manchester United fans off their seats, though. Good bit of play down the right. Hansen trying to stab it up for Leah Galton. He's always going to be outnumbered. Not the direction that Hansen would have wanted, but at least something to cling on to, because it's been all Chelsea in this opening third, whether it's in Chelsea's defensive third, as we're seeing now, and also attacking. They've got the spark, haven't they, today, Chelsea?
Harder will chase this. Well anticipated by Earps. Well, as you say, Rachel, will have confidence after playing for England over the international break. Ellie Roebuck of Manchester City, England's regular #1 in what is a very competitive goalkeeping department, out injured, so Earps got the nod for both games. One of the strongest sets of goalkeepers we've seen for the English national side in a long time.
It is, with Sandy McKeever, the Everton goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, Emily Ramsey, Carly Telford, who's, I should say, the senior member of that goalkeeping squad. It's unbelievable, you know, the fact that all of these girls have been in academies or regional talent camps for so long. The actual number of hours of goalkeeper training that they have had has allowed them to be, you know, they're only early 20s, even younger, but they've had so many thousands of hours of goalkeeper training, and it's a joy to see what the end product is.
Tune forward, looking for Galton. Well dispossessed by Niamh Charles. Right away for the champions. Leipold saw the run of Kirby. Here she is. Wrighton, so much space for Chelsea over on that far side. Leipold. Ingle, Kirby won't trap, almost came through to Kerr, will fall to her now. Not too far away.
They just flood numbers forward, Chelsea. I was watching, they're playing three at the back, Millie Bright, Jess Carter and Magda Eriksson. But Eriksson still will go on the overlap, and Sophie Ingham will sit in and become that three at the back. So it's so hard for Manchester United or for any other team to stick with the players. But Sam Kerr a little bit off target there, still quite finding a touch.
Galton, Wright wasn't too sure, held her position. And in the end, gets in the tackle as well.
Corner for Manchester United. Good work from Leah Galton. Using that pace, but Millie Bright recovered excellently well. All-time challenge. But this could be dangerous. Mark Skinner will have been the limited preparation time he's had. This will be drilled into them. Katie Zellem has excellent delivery on corners. In-swinger. Try and keep it away, I think, from Berger.
Well, they have the height in there as well, Manchester United. Torres Dottir in particular. They need a better delivery to work with from Zellum. Here is Hannah Blundell, another of the former Chelsea contingent. Joined Manchester United this summer. Described as a club legend by Chelsea boss Emma Hayes when she left. 11 years she spent with Chelsea. Here is Batje for Manchester United. She scored already this season from that sort of position. Not on that occasion, but this is better from the home side. Zellum. Torres Dottir. Can't find Batje. And that will come through to Kirby, well defended by her former Chelsea teammate Hannah Blundell.
Yeah, Hannah Blundell will have a point to prove. She was kind of not cast aside, but not preferred at her natural position of right back for, you know, a couple of seasons. Really had very limited options at Chelsea. Did everything right, good professional, and Manchester United will welcome her here, but she'll certainly have a point to prove that she is good enough to hold a starting position in a WSL team.
Well, she made 13 appearances in all competitions last season for Chelsea, Hannah Blundell, but ended up behind Niamh Charles and Jess Carter in the pecking order, and I think particularly the Champions League final would have been a key moment for her. Didn't make the side. Lorna Anderson missing out as well, but Carter and Charles, who's not originally a fullback, Niamh Charles on the ball here, filled in there after Maren Mjelde was injured and did a good job, but I think when you look at that, a European final, desperate to be starting, and you can't get into the side ahead of a player who isn't a traditional fullback, then you start to consider your options.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It did seem rather unusual, two makeshift fullbacks who ultimately, you know, pretty young as well. Jess Carter had only, I think, played 3 games for Chelsea in 3 years, pretty much, or certainly that season before the Champions League final.
Zellum's delivery looking for Hansen. Kirby, caught, free kick.
But on that name of Jess Carter, she's impressed me. She's been ever present ever since she had that little run at the end of last season, which got her into the Champions League final. She has been a mountain at the back. Katie Zellum getting a little bit tasty there with Fran Kirby, but as United captain playing up against Chelsea, there's going to be certain players who you might want to ruffle, players who might not like the physical battle particularly.
Here is Ingle for Chelsea. Now Ryson. Saw the run of Kirby, well shepherded behind by Aoife Mannion, and Kirby had a little nibble there.
Yeah, I didn't say that Fran Kirby wasn't up for the battle. She is a little terrier, absolutely. Feisty. It was a great run as well. Just didn't have the weighting on it from right and down that left-hand side.
And of course, there will be joy for Chelsea that she scored that 50th WSL goal, but given the injury and particularly the illness problems that Fran Kirby has had over the last few years, had a stellar season last season, clean sweep of all the individual Player of the Year awards, and notably said the thing she was most proud of was how much she's enjoyed playing the game again. It's been such a difficult time for her before last season, and all across the game there will be many so pleased on a personal level to see her score that milestone goal today.
It is, it's a recognition almost of everything that she's been through, certainly these last couple of years.
Batje for Manchester United, who have improved since that Chelsea onslaught in the opening 5 minutes. Grunen, pressured by Ingle. Staniforth.
Manchester United were just caught by the ferocity of the start by Chelsea. Couldn't recompose themselves. But Batje keeps getting down that left-hand side.
She's got the better of Charles there. Good delivery right away for Chelsea. Harder helps it on to Kerr. Free kick. Manchester United not too happy with that.
Right decision, though. Key players for Manchester United. So Jackie Groenen, having her back, was out for quite a while with injury. Nona Badje, we've seen her this season down this left-hand side. She's left-footed, but a young Spanish international. She's got the technical ability to cut in on her right. We've seen her score a fantastic outside of the penalty area. Beautiful strike. You can't just show her inside if you're a defender.
Slightly risky ball back from Zellem, dealt with well by Earps. Leipolz, collected by the Netherlands midfielder Jackie Groenen. Blundell. Toon is off. Carter watches it behind.
Chelsea have managed Ella Toon exceptionally well in this opening 15 minutes. She's barely had a touch. Whether number 10 position is Ella Toon's best position or whether it is that number 9 position, not quite sure. She's capable of both. But I mean, what a crazy set of circumstances to concede the opener. Manchester United put it on a plate for Frank Kirby.
Toon again, so full of running.
It's hard when you're on your own though, front, and you're doing it pretty much in isolation. You need, you know, the 7 position Hansen to be on the toes of Eriksson, as it were, there to have any type of impact on pressing down. Otherwise, it's just doggy runs for Ella Toon.
Chelsea making the runs off the ball. Here is Kerr. Got the space for Charles. Kerr saw it. Charles up against Battier. That is turning into an interesting battle between Ona Battier and Niamh Charles. Both players who like to get forward.
Yeah, Ona Badje, when she joined last season, I think wasn't a bit unconvincing at her start. She's really grown into that position. What you want from an attacking modern fullback, but defensively she knows her job inside out as well. Mark Skinner will be really pleased to have had her as an asset.
Yes, Manchester United's Player of the Year last season. And you do think of the big names that they lost over the summer, World Cup winners, Tobin Heath, Kristen Press, players like Ona Battier,
Lauren
James as well, who joined Chelsea, of course. Still not available for them, but players like Ona Battier.
You know, when a big clear out of big names, sometimes it does galvanise a team, and Mark Skinner, that'd be one of the first things he says. You know, it's not about superstar players, it's about what you do as a team, and that's what they need to focus on. I mean, Mark Skinner is a wonderful coach, but he's also a wonderful manager, and you know, often those skill sets are not together when you see a football manager, but he's a great manager of people and personalities as well.
Lovely work by Wright, and even better work by Jackie Groenen. That was dangerous for Chelsea. Toon again rather isolated, and Millie Bright will tidy up at the back. Well read in the centre by Zellem. Here come Manchester United once more. Lovely skill by Hansen. Bolton's made the run in the penalty area. Everything but the delivery.
Just happened too late as well. Needed to be played in. Galton could get across. She was in between Niamh Charles and Millie Bright at the time. She could have made that dynamic run. It needed that ball, but space to run into for Leah Galton to get on the end of it. She can stab it up in the air. She's completely outnumbered. Earlier deliveries, earlier decisions from Manchester United when they're on that transition.
Here is Wrighton. Mannion there ahead of Harder. Mannion once more, another who's had real injury problems over the last couple of years. joining from Manchester City in the summer. Only 11 appearances for Manchester City due to that ACL injury, but such a talent. And we'll be hoping to reignite her career at Manchester United. And Manchester United reignite this game. Decent opening for Hansen.
Was lovely feat from Lucy Staniforth. We're talking about reigniting her career. She'll be desperate to get back into that England squad. Lovely footwork we saw for Liverpool, for Sunderland, for Reading, for so many teams. She's done it, but as you said, injury has curtailed some of her spells. But she is magical in that 10 position, Lucy Staniforth. She's got such experience as well. A really good balance in midfield. Jackie Grenon, Katie Zellum, Lucy Staniforth.
Well, she was in the England squad for the latest international break, Staniforth, but didn't make it onto the pitch. Harder flicking it on. Mannion is there. Calmly done by Manchester United, and you can't press all game, but Chelsea just backing off a little, although, as we say that, Harder does close down Torres Dotti, but Manchester United again deal with that well. Important interception by Bright. Throw to Manchester United, and the game has settled after that early flurry from Chelsea. Bache to Toon. Galton is an option. Toon will go alone. Right, chests away. Ryson releases Kirby. Again, well read by Mannion. All the way back to Mary Earps.
I remember watching and doing the World Cup with you, Vicky Sparks, and watching the US women's national team. What they did was, in waves of about 10 minutes, they would absolutely, as Chelsea did at the start of this game, absolutely press everything and really kind of upset and put the opposition on back foot. And then for the next 10 minutes, they would retreat and they would get a breather, and then again they'd go for another 10 minutes, and that sort of wave effect seems like a similar type of start that Chelsea are trying to employ.
Here come Manchester United. Ricochet in the end off Leah Galton. Groenen urged to shoot. Toon might well do so. Space closed down well. Here is Zellum. Tried to cut it through to Galton. Right away for Chelsea.
Chelsea defended really well. They got compact, got numbers back, got players behind the ball, made it really difficult. Niamh Charles tracked Ella Toon, didn't give her an inch of space to be able to get a shot off. As much as we applaud the attacking.
Staniforth could be in here. The touch just let her down. But as you say, Rachel, the vision was on point.
That was brilliant ball. Was that Aoife Mannion who played that ball in? Not quite sure who it was, but it probably needed to be a hit first time. Oh, Katie Zellum it was. That's what she brings. That orchestrator, that visionary in midfield. Beautiful pass, and Lucy Staniforth were disappointed with that.
Well, she's yet to score in the league for Manchester United. Lucy Staniforth, since arriving last summer, did knit in the FA Cup once last season. Big chance to get Manchester United back level. Well read by Blundell. She's being urged on by the supporters on the far side. Throw goes Chelsea's way. Well, you talk about her having a point to prove, Rachel, after moving from Chelsea in the summer. It's something that the Manchester United boss, Mark Skinner, picked up on. The chance here he feels to see a consistent Hannah and give Serena Wiegmann something to think about in terms of England selection, but so much competition at Chelsea for places. She's been a stalwart so far early on in her Manchester United career. Harder, what a run this is! Pernilla Harder to double Chelsea's lead. That is a fabulous goal! Pure quality from the UEFA Player of the Year 2020. And out of nothing, Pernilla Harder shows what she can do. 2-0 Chelsea.
Wow, that's Wonder Woman in a blue shirt there. The power, the pace that she showed to explode away from the Manchester United defenders. She shrugged them off, cut the ball across. And it's explosive. She's like a 400-metre or 200-metre runner. The way she gets the ball across, straight for goal, then has the poise to dink it over the onrushing Mariette. That is a thing of beauty. Absolutely brilliant from Pernilla Harder. Mariette's got a little bit of a touch on it, but not enough. And 2-0 down after 25 minutes. This was not in the plan for Manchester United and Mark Skinner.
The run, the finish, as close to perfection as you will get. And it's easy to forget in all the talk that there always is around Chelsea about the numbers and the partnership of Sam Kerr and Frank Kirby. 53 goals they scored between them last season. Pernilla Harder got 17 on her own. The attacking talent that Chelsea have is frightening.
Yeah, only 17 goals is not enough to give you any plaudits, is it? I mean, she came in from Wolfsburg straight after the Champions League final a couple of years ago, and we had such high expectations of her, and it took her a while to adapt, I would say, and to find what is the best position for her.
Manchester United almost in a good position there. Berger deals with it.
I think the best position for Pernilla Harder is wherever she feels like playing, in that 10 position, floating off of the left into the centre. And Emma Hayes will embrace that. She'll understand what platform a player needs to get the best out of them. It's very much a two-way conversation between Emma Hayes and Pernilla Harder. Both very respectful of each other.
Here is Kerr. Kirby felt she was blocked off. Referee Kirsty Dow happy. But real work for Manchester United to do now. Manchester United, who had very much in terms of the balance of play, come back into this match. Got one breakaway goal, a touch of quality from Pernilla Harder. And things suddenly look very different for Mark Skinner's side. Their 100% record in the WSL this season under serious threat against the reigning champions. Stanifer again. Almost a lovely ball through. Toon had made the run. Ingle brings it away for Chelsea. Here is Harder. Now Kirby. And Chelsea happy to go backwards.
Yeah, good patience from Chelsea there defensively. Manchester United were waiting for Niamh Charles or for someone to step out to Leah Galton on the ball on this left-hand side and break that back line of four. And they didn't. They forced Leah Galton to go infield on the ball centrally, and that was just into a pack of blue. And they turned over possession. Something certainly that Emma Hayes and her Chelsea team will be working on. They're exposed against Arsenal, but here we see their goal again for Pernilla Harder. Unbelievable athletic ability to get away with a ball at her feet. When you see it live like this, it's unbelievable how fast she moves with the ball, and to be able to put the mental brakes on almost, have that poise to finish as she did.
Well, it's been a great couple of weeks for her. She became Denmark's all-time leading goal scorer over the international break, netting against Malta. 66 goals and 130 caps now for the Danish captain. And she scored what will be one of the goals of the season. Here she is again. Finds Kerr. Offside flag is up. And Manchester United are let off the hook.
Yeah, it's lovely play. The way that Chelsea opened them up. Again, Pernilla Harder in that, not a free role, but being able to push on high and join up as a number 9, or to drop in between the back lines of Manchester United and the midfield, get in that gap, get on the ball, face up. So hard to mark.
Well, conceding at home is something that Manchester United are not used to in the WSL. In fact, they hadn't shipped a goal from open play since December 2020. They conceded 2 in this opening half hour. And Chelsea, the defending champions, now in control, although Jess Carter almost missed controlling that ball there. Good pressure from Manchester United. Carter goes down, wins the free kick, and this time it's Chelsea who are let off the hook.
Yeah, it was as Jess Carter swiped with her foot to try and clear the ball, get her out of that pickle she was in. She actually kicked Lucy Staniforth's standing leg. Accidental on both cases, but the right decision. Jess Carter showed really good poise there. Didn't get flustered when it was a little bit sloppy. Eve Charles and her got themselves into a little bit of a tight squeeze. Emma Hayes does think there's perfection, and that wasn't it.
Well, she may think it exists, but she rarely applies it to her team. Again, with Mark Skinner, very, very high standards as managers. Always something to improve. And that is the mindset of champions. Not sure she'll have too much to pick the bones out of with Pernilla Harder's goal. Chelsea throw.
Yeah, noticing what Chelsea are doing very differently to the last couple of games defensively, and being really, really hard to break down in that back line, being able to play through. And Eve Charles drop and be a flat back four when they're out of possession. Keeping narrow, showing them on the outside. Manchester United haven't found the keys to unlock that yet.
Bumper coverage of the WSL season and the Women's FA Cup for you on the BBC this year. The North London derby, the pick of the quarter-final ties, Wednesday at 7 o'clock on BBC4. Do join us for that last season's FA Cup as we continue to work through the schedule, the disruption caused by the pandemic. So we are at the quarter-final stage. Bright clears away. Chelsea will be in action in the last 8 as well. They're away to Birmingham. Here is Galton. Foot in from Charles. Torres Dottir. We mentioned that Manchester United have not conceded many goals at home in 2021. Chelsea's 2 goals keep up their record of scoring in what is now their last 54 WSL games, and they're on the hunt for a third here. Kerr. Ingle, Kirby. Almost crowded out of it. Batcher there just ahead of Kerr. Kerr does very well to win that back. Charles to Kirby. Batcher there again, alert to the danger. And Galton will bring it away for Manchester United.
And that's the problem, isn't it, when Manchester United work so hard to win it back. Leah Galton turns, disappointingly, didn't have anyone in front, but they break now.
They've got space down the right-hand side, and Berger is out very quickly. But again, good vision, good threat, good run from the former Chelsea player, Hannah Blundell. Here is Kirby. Leipold. Kerr had made the run. Leipold looking for harder on the far side, too much on it. Well, there is Ji So-yeon of Chelsea and South Korea. Became South Korea's all-time record goal scorer in the men's or the women's game. Already held the record for the women's side. But now the country's top scorer outright. We saw Bethany England there as well. The quality that Chelsea have on the bench. Very much a squad that is designed to withstand challenges on multiple fronts. When you think back to that Champions League final, the humbling that they experienced at the hands of Barcelona, you would think the Champions League once more will very much be a target for Emma Hayes and her side, perhaps the primary target. Brighton in field, stays down, Kerr loses out. There is Ingle. Chance. Leipold wants it.
midfield of Chelsea I'm enjoying. Watching Sophie Ingle and Leipold and Harder in that 10. The way that they interchange, they move, one can go forward, one sits in. So fluid, so well organised and synchronised.
A little loose from Zellem, and Charles is onto it quickly. Options limited at the moment for Manchester United. Earps will go long. Ingle is there. Now Leipold. Harder. Reiten ahead of her. Here is Gunnar Reiten. Only ball in. Corner.
Again, balls at Mary Earps' feet, and it's not a criticism of Mary Earps. It's applauding the work that Chelsea are doing out of possession. You know, you might often think that players and teams switch off when you've not got the ball. It's like, okay, let's see what they're going to do. Well, actually, if you can influence what they do by your starting position as a team, as a unit, that's what Chelsea are doing. They're influencing what United can and can't do by their starting positions.
Reiten's delivery over the head of Harder won't reach Bright. Here is Leipold. Look at the space that Kerr has. Time to pick the cross. That would have been special from Magdalena Eriksson.
We talked about Pernilla Harder, we've talked about Frank Kirby, Sam Kerr, but the threats are multiple. Millie Bright scored 2 goals for England during the international period. This time, Captain Eriksson,
given away again by Manchester United. Kirby, they're queuing up here. Straight down the throat of Mary Earps in the end, and now Earps makes her feelings known. Pernilla Harder should have been 3-0 Chelsea.
Absolutely should have been. Mary Earps, I'm sure that's a joint shout of frustration with herself as well as her players. She needs players to be moving for her to be able to play the ball too, but as well, she's probably angry with herself that playing out the back as she's wanting to do, it's not quite to the standards that she sets herself.
And you mentioned that ebb and flow that we saw with the USA at the World Cup, and we've seen with Chelsea in this game there. Standing off Manchester United a little when they've had the ball around the penalty area, but for the last couple of moments, again, the blue shirts swarming around the box and forcing the error on that occasion from Mary Earps.
First 10 minutes half, last 10 minutes of half. That's what they do.
They are finishing this half strongly, the champions. What can Manchester United do about that? Galton dispossessed. Leipold.
So many statisticians that are part of the makeup of Emma Hayes' backroom staff. I don't know the answer. I'm surmising that they've figured out when teams are most vulnerable. That seems to fit that pattern of what we've come up with.
Staniforth over the head of everybody. Would have been a tight offside call anyway against Galton. Well, work to do for Mark Skinner and his side. We always knew this would be a tough test. You don't want to say the first real test, because Reading finished 7th last season, some decent results against the big sides last campaign as well, including winning at Manchester United, so no pushovers. Reading, who Manchester United beat on opening day. Leicester City, yes, newly promoted, but did very well in the Championship last season. But Chelsea a cut above, and so far they are showing that, although Manchester United will feel if they could have found that leveller when the game was in the balance at 1-0 in terms of balance of play and threat going forward, things might have been different. Chelsea and the second through Pernilla Harder, and it's Chelsea pushing for the third. Here is Ingle. Kerr in the box.
Yeah, but with regards to weighing up the two teams, The Manchester United, they're arguably the three best players last season, or three of them have left in the off-season. Their managers left. It's only their third year of existence. The comparisons are, you know, you might look at the game and think Manchester United and Chelsea, but the true comparisons.
Chelsea looking for this third, just wide from Sam Kerr.
I love that she hit that first time. It was drawing across it. It's kind of not a huge amount of pace on it, but good break again. Just checks off the Mary Torres-Dottir. And just as Badje is trying to get back to put some pressure on, she just whacks it first time. I thought that was whistling in. She caught it true enough. But again, Manchester United's pockets picked at the back, nearly resulting in a goal.
And they've given it away again at the back. Kirby, is this to be the third? Surely yes.
Unbelievable.
That combination once again, reverse this time. Kirby to Kerr. Both get the plaudits. And Chelsea are running away with this before half-time, 3-0.
To sound harsh, it's easy to know what Chelsea are good at, what they do. It's hard to stop them doing it. But to play into their hands, when they concede it, they're setting the traps. You know, there's 4v4 at the back there. They're on their toes. They're not allowing United players to turn. To manage the game, there's 5 minutes left. They're in your faces. They're on. They can feel that they're on that front foot. It's just game, set and match now. Lovely bit of poise as well from Frank Kirby to pick out a strike partner. Square it for Sam Kerr. Had a few chances, Sam Kerr, this game.
3 goals for the season already. The Golden Boot winner in the WSL last season as the flag goes up on the far side. Manchester United and Ella Toon are frustrated, as will he be. And you cannot say they haven't been warned. We spoke so early on after they conceded that Frank Kirby goal inside the opening 2 minutes. Do you change things in terms of playing out from the back? If it's not working for you, if that is your philosophy, your style of play, and it's cost them on 2 occasions.
Yeah, it's not set in stone. It's ideally you want to be doing this, but if it's not on, you've got to be big enough and brave enough to. Well, I'm talking, you know, the players who are in that position, the goalkeeper, your fullbacks, your 2 centre halves. You've got to assess. You're the ones on the pitch trying to implement that philosophy. So you've got to read the situation. If it's not on, you have to go to plan B.
Whatever plan you're going for, it has to include getting a goal before half-time. That's what Manchester United desperately need. Flicked on by Battier, away by Charles. Zellem takes charge. Battier. Vernon. Space for Staniforth. Well, she's capable of scoring from there, but it's always a difficult opening to take advantage of.
But that's what Chelsea have limited Manchester United to, is a couple of shots from distance. Ella Toon had one just a few minutes ago, and Lucy Staniforth now. They've not been able to breach that back line, really get in down the flanks. A few local fans.
Yes, Mark Skinner very much talking about the one club mentality, and you see that with those who are in attendance today.
Played golf with Michael Carrick Foundation Day just a few weeks ago, and I was the only female playing, so it was a little bit intimidating, but Fletch came over and introduced himself. He was very aware of Manchester United women, been, you know, part of Manchester United for such a long time, still has a big influence at Manchester United, but he's you know, very much in support of the women's team, of that one club mentality. Sir Alex Ferguson was there as well and had similar sentiments.
Well, it's something that Mark Skinner spoke about when he took over. One of the first things waiting for him in July was an email from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his inbox, and again, that ethos of very much seeing the club as one. Manchester United, of course, only reforming their women's side in 2018. It's been a long time coming. But 2 fourth-place finishes in their first 2 top-flight campaigns. Under the cosh, though, against the reigning champions. Batcher there ahead of Kerr. Corner Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea have been full-time since 2015. You know, and in there lies the difference. How the women's game has accelerated as well in the last 6 years since Chelsea went full-time. The fact that we've got world record breakers, not just in the Chelsea squad, but across the WSL. It's wonderful to see the rise of the Women's Super League and women's football in this country, full stop. Man United are absolutely playing catch-up.
Certainly in this game. Kirby's delivery, well away. Charles back in for Chelsea. Toon trying to trap, does well under pressure.
Frank Kirby playing right of the 3 centre-backs there. It's great. I mean, the team's been together for, the core of the team have been together now for, you know, a good couple of years. They understand the positions, they understand what the basic minimum requirements are, not just tactically, but energy, effort, application. And that's not just the product that we see for this 90 minutes. That, from when I've spoken to Emma Hayes about how the players push each other in training, that is the philosophy of the players, and they bring that every single training session.
Anna Blundell amongst the Manchester United players, not happy with the award of this free kick for Chelsea. Wrighton stands over it. And again, Chelsea have sent the height forward from the back. Good punch by Mary Earps. But not a good half for Manchester United. It is Chelsea who lead by 3-0 at the break. Kirby getting them off to the perfect start inside 2 minutes. Pernilla Harder with the goal of the game and what you would think could well be one of the goals of the season. And Sam Kerr adding the third. Another tap-in, as Kirby's was just before the break, and Rachel Brown finish. This has definitively been Chelsea's half.
It has, from those opening few minutes when they set the traps. Manchester United playing out from the back, got their pocket picked. They didn't learn their lesson, did they? On numerous occasions, Chelsea had the chance to maybe get a second and a third before they did. But look at those 3 names, Frank Kirby, Pernilla Harder, Sam Kerr. It's a hard job to keep them from scoring.
So half-time at Leigh Sports Village. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 3.
Thank you very much, Vicky and Rachel. I'm joined here pitchside by Farrah Williams and Kelly Smith. Farrah, I mean, what an explosive game for Chelsea.
Yeah, they've come out on the front foot. I think, you know, having watched them in the game before the international when they played Everton and seeing how well they press from the front, they showed that really early on, and a goal come, you know, within the first 3 minutes from doing exactly that.
Yeah, well, is it a surprise to see that, do you think?
No, because I know how well Chelsea can play and what Emma Hayes demands of her players. But you could see right from the off that they were focused, they were ready, mentally there. And as soon as that final whistle, the first whistle went, they were on the high press for about 10 minutes, and Manchester United just couldn't get out.
Yeah, and they started exactly on the front foot, as you say. We can see here, as they did start on that high press. This is exactly how Emma Hayes will have set up this team.
Yeah, and I think you can see by the connections of the front three and Harder just in behind that, how they set that trap. They set you up to play passes so that they're on the front foot to anticipate and intercept, and we've just seen that there with Kirby pinching. And here's the goal. If you watch Sam Kerr starts to show the defender outfield, and then there's a half press from Harder, and it gets intercepted then from the midfield, and here we have Sam Kerr unselfishly just laying it back to Frank Kirby. But that comes from the initial press, and a fantastic goal for Chelsea.
And what they do here is they go in, they hunt in packs. They don't just go individually. They sense in, they're sniffing. They work together in 3s and 4s, and obviously that high press there has effectively got them the goal.
Yeah, and it is exactly that combination again, isn't it? The Kirby-Kerr coming to fruition again, and Frank Kirby now has 50 WSL goals as well, so she's joining this elite group, which we knew she always would. And interestingly, the game did settle down a little bit for Manchester United after that. They seem to have coped with that early press pretty soon after being shocked so early on, but Pernille Harder came in. What a star
what
she
a
is.
Superstar
And what
she is.
A superstar. What a finish as well.
Already made a statement for goal of the season, third game in. You know, the strength and the power that she had to take that ball and dribble it all the way down the field. She receives it, you know, just in the space and on the halfway line here. And I question Torresdottir's just defending here. She just stumbles a little bit, but the power, the strength, and then that little dink at the end just to dink it over Mary Earps. Could she have done better? Mary Earps maybe, but it's just so impressive how powerful she is in her running and so direct. When she gets the ball here, there's only one thought in her mind, and that's to head straight towards the goal. And the cheekiness here, you've got to love it as a former striker, just to dink it over with the left foot. She's not even left-footed. It's just cheeky.
I knew Kel would be impressed with this one. That's why I let her break it down for us. We can get proper analysis from Kel there.
Do you think Mary Earps could have done a little bit better there?
I think so. I mean, looking at it again, I mean, I thought in live play, I thought she went down a little bit too early, which allows for the striker just to dink it over. Don't get me wrong, the execution from Hard was fantastic, yeah. But I think that's what Mary Earps has given her. I think if she stayed bigger for longer, maybe the decision of the strike would have been different.
Yeah, well, Pernille Harder is a class act in itself, isn't she? But she also was so effective in the build-up play as well.
I think she's made it really difficult for Man United today. I think what she does really well, and having the likes of Ingo and Lopez just sitting behind her, allows her that freedom across the midfield area, just sitting behind the front three and in front of that too. And you can just see her here getting into pockets and finding forward passes. It was a constant throughout the first half. The way she just travels beyond the midfielders with the ball, it's beautiful to watch. And you can just see her here now in a pocket, and she starts this attack. She just cuts a reverse pass, but then you can just see her just floating. And as the play starts to build up, she really starts to get herself involved and always seeing a forward pass. You see here, it's a blindside pass that she's reversed to Sam Kerr. I mean, slightly offside, but in terms of just seeing those passes whilst constantly moving is fantastic.
It is fantastic, isn't it? And you know, not letting Manchester United get back in it, they still sort of fell victim to that high press, didn't they? Especially with that third goal.
Yeah, it was nice to see Sam Kerr get on the score sheet. It was a brilliant build-up play. The high press again come by Frank Kirby there, and it's another mistake by Manchester United. You know, the high press. I think it's Zaylan probably should have taken a touch, but it's the unselfishness here by Frank Kirby. She probably could have taken that shot, but she's just so alert and so aware of where Kerr is. But here again, it's just the high press. They're doing it in 2s and 3s and 4s. Probably should have taken a touch there. Then the forward pass. And yes, could you have shot? Probably not. But that partnership, again, is so beautiful to watch. They have such a great understanding together that they just bounce off each other. And it's brilliant to watch.
Yeah, and for Manchester United, you know, there have been a couple of chances. But, you know, Kelly, you were saying that Ella Toone, she just looks really isolated up there.
Yeah, we touched on in the pre-game how crucial she is to find those pockets of space and to get in and to turn and to create. But she has been isolated. She finds those pockets of space, but hasn't been able to get on the ball, which has been frustrating for her. Some of her body language at times is a little bit huffy. She needs to stay focused, stay in the game. She wants the ball here, probably into the space, but doesn't really get it. It's a long, direct ball, diagonal ball. Those pockets of space there, that's what, look, she just turns and looks, and she wants that ball into the space to turn, to face, to create, to play those balls through, but it's not happening for her.
I think that's the reason Mark Skinner has Ella Toone up front in that false 9 role, because she is a natural midfielder that likes to get in pockets and likes to get in advance of forward players. So you can see her dropping short and trying to get in them. Her frustration is having balls pumped up to her against a Chelsea back three that are double the size, both ways, height and physicality, and then opportunities that she gets in those pockets and she's free, they're missing her and they're not seeing it. So I think you can see the frustration there from Ella Toone, and hopefully, you know, going in at half-time, Mark Skinner will address that and come out in the second half, and hopefully they'll find her in those pockets.
Yeah, definitely work to do for Mark Skinner, because Chelsea are 3-0 up here against Manchester United at the Lee Sports Village. The WSL action actually kicked off on Saturday. Just the one fixture for you. It was Everton against Birmingham City. If you haven't seen it, here are your highlights.
Everton with options in attack here. Izzy Christiansen through the middle is the target, trying to get something on it. Helps it on for Clinton, whose shot is blocked. This is Maya, deflected and in. And Everton lead with a goal on debut for Leonie Maya. In the right place to profit here. The fullback brought in after a couple of seasons at Arsenal. It fell to her favourably after Clinton's effort was blocked, and it did take a touch on the way through off Harriet Scott. Birmingham City looking for the response here and looking for the run of Sarah Ewens in behind. George with her, and out comes McIver, who did really well. The goalkeeper then completes the clearance. Reacted smartly, Sandy McIver, because Ewens was a threat here. Lucy Quinn. This is Pennock. And it opens up for Jade Pennock. That's a beautiful goal. It's the equalising goal for Birmingham City. And a first for the club since signing from Sheffield United in the summer for Jade Pennock. 1-1 here. She took that wonderfully well. A little bit of space for Savecki to stride forward. Slips it through into the run of Emsley to cut the ball back for Benison, deflected. And this time the deflection takes it wide of the target. Benison close to getting on the end of that. Come on at half-time. Everton starting to step up the pressure in pursuit of re-establishing their lead. This is Benison. Some fast feet here in the build-up, looking to link with Duggan. Benison gets it back again and finds a fabulous finish to restore the Everton lead with her first goal in English football. It's a crucial contribution from the record signing, the 18-year-old, involved in the build-up and then able to score a stunning second. Really stylishly taken from the Swede. Christiansen with the late corner. Savecki meets it and guides their header home to surely wrap up the win in stoppage time. The goal from the set piece that Everton had been threatening finally arrives here thanks to Savecki on as a second half substitute. Everton 3, Birmingham City 1.
Yeah, so Everton getting that all-important victory of the season. 3-1, as you heard there, it finished. Here at the Leigh Sports Village, it is currently Manchester United 0, Chelsea 3. And there's some games to come this afternoon as well. Two 2 o'clock kickoffs as Brighton take on Aston Villa and Tottenham face Farah's old side Reading. At 3 o'clock, West Ham kickoff against Leicester City. And the last match of the day is a big one. Arsenal take on Manchester City. Well, great to see those highlights there, and great to see Hannah Benison off the mark, a record signing for your old club, Farah, and a great finish as well, Kelly.
Yeah, it was brilliant the way she jinxed her body to move the player, and then it was a fantastic finish. Similar to, I've seen Farah do that so many times before. I think she's been watching you play, Farah. But yeah, just the movement here, just a little 1-2 give and go, and then there's not a lot of backlift when she follows through. Just the cleverness, the step over there. She's always thinking, can I play forward? Can I get on the back shoulder? And it's just a delightful finish.
Yeah, I mean, she's a player that's come, you know, with great expectation. You know, we speak about the money that she was brought in for. And Everton have had 2 tough games to come, you know, to start their campaign off. And, you know, somebody so young with all this expectation, it's been difficult. She's 18, exactly. She started as a sub against Birmingham, but comes on and straight away gets her goal. And that's probably a game that will give her the confidence to build, you know, in future games. They've got Reading next week. So, yeah, she'll certainly want to kick on from that.
Yeah, and a great one for Willie Kirk to have in his side as well. OK, let's take a look at a few things you might have missed now from the first half then. Our reporter Jo Curry is pitchside, and she's alongside the women's football reporter for The Telegraph, Tom Garry.
Tom, thank you for joining us. Let's start with that first goal. Fran Kirby making an instant impact, scoring after just a minute and a half. Bearing in mind she's been on international duty this week, how happy is Emma Hayes going to be that her time on the pitch with the Lionesses was managed, bearing in mind she's had a knock in the last few months?
Well, I think Emma Hayes, Jo, will be delighted that Fran Kirby was only used for 71 minutes over the 2 games in Chelsea, are seeing the benefits here this afternoon. And let's face it, England don't need Fran Kirby to beat a Macedonia side ranked 131st in the world, or a Luxembourg side ranked 122nd. So it's quite sensible, and the more that Chelsea and England manage her time, the better she'll play for club and country.
That's Chelsea. Let's talk about Manchester United. Mark Skinner's one of the league's more animated managers. We're on the side of the pitch, pretty much sat next to the dugout. What's his reaction been to those 3 goals?
Well, for the third goal, he barely even moved. He's understandably frustrated. And let's not forget that last season, defence was the bedrock of the good things Man United did. They had 10 clean sheets in the WSL last season, which is an excellent number. And you can't defend like they have done this afternoon. They gifted away goals, and not against a side with the prolific strike force with Kerr and Kirby and Harder.
Tom, we'll let you get back to your seat. Enjoy the second half. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you to Tom and to Joe as well. Crowds look very happy there. Look at that. Nice to see as many of them as possible. We're going to take a slight gear change now from the football, because coming up on the BBC next Sunday, we have coverage of a very special sporting occasion.
100,000 runners, 100,000 reasons to push yourself, to make a difference, to win. Whatever the goal, this year, more than ever, we run together. The London Marathon, next Sunday. Coverage starts at 8 AM on BBC Two and iPlayer.
Well, best of luck to all the runners taking part in the London Marathon next Sunday. Also to come on the BBC, highlights from the weekend's WSL fixtures are on the Women's Football Show. That is at 11:30 PM tonight on BBC One. There's midweek Women's FA Cup quarter-final action between Arsenal and North London rivals Tottenham on BBC 4 and the BBC iPlayer. That's on Wednesday at 7 PM. And Kate Cross and Alex Hartley talk about life off and on the cricket field with star guests in No Ball, the cricket podcast. Subscribe and listen now on the BBC Sounds app. Well, it's been an interesting first half, hasn't it, here at the Leigh Sports Village. The sun is out, and Chelsea against Manchester United. It is the visitors who are very much in the driving seat.
Manchester United have never beaten Chelsea in the WSL. Chelsea take the lead inside the opening 2 minutes. What a start for Chelsea.
Wonder Woman in a blue shirt there.
It did to be the third, surely yes. It is Chelsea who lead by 3-0 at the break.
So plenty of work for Manchester United to do in the second half. They are trailing the visitors Chelsea by 3 goals. Mark Skinner will have had words at half-time. Let's see what he has come up with and how he will deal with that Chelsea high press for the next 45 minutes. It's time to rejoin our commentary team then for the second half. The former Everton goalkeeper Rachel Brown-Finnis is alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thanks, Reshmin. Well, Mark Skinner has sent his players out early. They are ready to get underway. As here come Chelsea, the reigning champions, very much on top in that first half at Leigh Sports Village. Rachel, if you were Mark Skinner in the dressing room at half-time, what would you have said and what would you change for this second
I'm not
half?
just saying it because she's jumping up and down on the sideline. We did discuss this as soon as it was half-time, but Alessia Russo looks like she's set to come on. We'll have to wait and see whether it's a tactical change with regards to line up, whether they'll go 4-4-2 and put Alessia Russo up top alongside Ella Toone. I think that would be what I would do as a manager. They need goals, simple as that. And Alessia Russo is a young player, young England striker, who was out with injury for quite a long period of last season. But when she did start last year, right at the beginning, there was a whole amount of excitement around her.
And she is on for her England counterpart, Lucy Staniforth. So Alessia Russo takes to the field. Former Chelsea development captain, played for them in the League Cup early in her career as well, but a childhood Manchester United fan. And as you say, Rachel, a superb start to her career with Manchester United last season. 3 goals in 4 league appearances before suffering a hamstring injury in November. Missed so much of last campaign, restricted to substitute appearances this season as well. But a fully fit Alessia Russo is a real danger for Manchester United. Chelsea looking for early danger in this second half. Wrighton's ball in. Cleared away by Galton. Eriksson forward, Hansen will get there.
Yeah, expect Chelsea to start as they did in the first half. Absolutely flying out of the traps. Making it difficult for any team, for Manchester United, to get string passes together, momentum.
Well, she was just limping away there initially, Kirsty Hansen. She's stayed down now as Chelsea break forward. Brighton. Over the head of Kerr.
Yeah, I think she
Not
got
too far away from Kirby.
Yeah, just wide from Kirby. Maybe heading, she'll probably admit, is not her forte, although she has scored, of course, with her head. Again, nice, quick interplay. Defender Hannah Blundell doesn't get out quick enough, and Gura Wrighton can put it on a plate from that left-hand side. Norwegian player. Plays on that left, really wonderful left foot. Kirsty Hansen got basically a knee up the backside and a dead leg. She should be able to walk it off. She still looks in some discomfort.
Yes, the number 18, Kirsty Hansen, inside the centre circle, moving a little gingerly. As Manchester United look to play their way out of this early Chelsea pressure.
Yeah, United have gone to 4-2-3-1 or 4-5-1. Katie Zellum and Jackie Groening in front of the back four. Frees up Ella Toon to play in a more free role in behind Alessia Russo in the 9 position.
Well, we mentioned the isolation of Toon in the first half, discussed pitch side as well at half-time. That was a lovely turn from Hansen. She's shaken off that dead leg, certainly now. Still going, Kirsty Hansen. Too close to Anke Thunberger.
Lapse in concentration there. Magda Eriksson diving in. Kirsty Hansen did excellently well. Powered away down that right-hand side and should have played it earlier. You could see Leah Galton hanging at that left back post. Just needed the ball playing earlier and could have caught Chelsea.
Chelsea's turn to be pressured at the back. Here is Toon. Russo, deflection in! In off Millie Bright. Fortunate for Manchester United, but they won't care a jot. They have a goal back.
Well, they've done to Chelsea what they did to them and pounce on them. Really making the most of that early pressure. Kirsty Hansen down that right-hand side did excellently well to nearly cause a problem for them, but this time it's Ella Toon in that freer role, getting a bit more space to be able to thread the ball through. I don't know what Millie Bright's doing. She drops off, plays Alessia Russo onside, and a Millie Bright own goal. Heard that somewhere before.
Chelsea coming forward at the other end. Well blocked by Mary Earps as Kirby came sliding in. Frenetic start to the second half, but that key goal back for Manchester United.
Good concentration from Mary Earps there to make the save from Frank Kirby. It was an awkward one bouncing at her feet. It's end to end, didn't it, this first few minutes?
Here goes Russo once more. Berger out quickly. Well, we talk about players having a point to prove. So many Chelsea connections in this Manchester United side. And Alessia Russo, one of those, their former development captain.
Yeah, I think after that first 45, though, every single Manchester United player in a Man United shirt has a point to prove. They knew that they weren't at their best. They knew that they played into the hands of Chelsea. Didn't create chances.
Right, just away from Ella Toon. And Ingle has it for Chelsea. Harder. She's off again, Pernilla Harder. She'll go for goal again, and the deflection is kinder to Manchester United than it was to Chelsea a few minutes ago. It is, though, a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, pretty good defending from Manchester United. Ran down a bottleneck, got very, very narrow, but lots of Manchester United players compact, made it difficult for her and blocked that shot. We just saw that chance from Frank Kirby. Could have been 2-2 in this second half. Or 5-3, obviously, doing the maths.
Well, we wondered whether Kirby will be taking corners. Brighton so far is on them. Torres Dottir away for Manchester United. Before to Ingle. Kerr back in. Torres Dottir there once more. And the distance provided by Toon. Charles and Bright over the bar.
Decent effort from Millie Bright there. Good power on it, couldn't quite keep it under the bar. But this is exactly what Mark Skinner's side will have wanted. Not this precisely.
And definitely not this! Chelsea restore their 3-goal advantage. Sam Kerr at the double, as she was last match against Everton. And all Manchester United's hard work is undone. 4-1 Chelsea lead.
So frustrating for the players, but it's what Chelsea do. These opening 10 minutes or so, they've been put Manchester United on the back foot. Manchester United have had the chance. I think Sam Kerr is certainly, well, she is offside. She is offside. It's not given by the assistant referee. We don't have VAR. I'm not sure whether Emma Hayes will be moaning about that this week. But yeah, Sam Kerr should have been ruled offside. Got a little bit fortunate really with the first contact. Miscontrolled it, popped up. Gave it an easy finish. But you can't say they didn't deserve it the way they've started this second half.
Well, luck all round for Chelsea in truth there. The offside, the first touch. But Sam Kerr making sure at the second attempt. And yes, you mentioned, Rachel, Emma Hayes speaking more broadly about VAR and the lack of it and the lack of goal line technology as well. Still in the WSL after Beth Mead it was scoring the offside third goal when they lost to Arsenal opening day. Very strong words from Emma Hayes, says that the lack of VAR and goal line technology does make the women's game feel like second-class citizens. They profited from it there, Chelsea, but I don't think Emma Hayes will change her broader opinion, even though on that occasion it's given Chelsea an advantage. And it is frustrating, Rachel, because it was a clear offside, and it's a goal that shouldn't have stood for Chelsea. She's onside here now, though, Sam Kerr, on a hat-trick against Torres Dossier. Gets the better just of Torres Dossier. Here is Kirby. Ingle. Charles joining the attack. Goal kick rather than corner.
Yeah, to correct what I said, Emma Hayes did not moan about VAR. She simply made a statement about being second-class citizen, as you read out, and I agree with that. We always want better for our game, and as the technology comes and it's being introduced, we can clearly see from one, almost instantaneous replay that it's offside, and the cameras are here. Doesn't take a huge amount to be able to correct a wrong decision on the pitch.
Here is Zellem for Manchester United. Forward by Cronin, just too much zip on it. Manchester United just need to collect themselves here.
Yeah, they need to regather themselves and implement the belief that they came out with at the very, very start of this second half. Because you could see what Mark Skinner, or you can imagine what Mark Skinner would have said, is that they need to believe in themselves and to put Chelsea under pressure. They've changed the formation to make them more attacking so that when they are in possession, they have more options. And it worked, they got a goal from it.
Here's a goal for Alessia Russo going in off Millie Bright, but just on target, the shot from Russo. But certainly Bright responsible for the goal. Inadvertently going in off the Chelsea defender.
I think this opening 10 minutes, Manchester United created more than they did in the whole first half.
Hansen won't keep that in. But she has been lively, Kirsty Hansen, shaking off that early knock in this second period.
Yeah, it's funny when she'd been limping around and then suddenly burst off down the right-hand side at full speed.
Zellerman well ahead of Harder. Here is Batia. Gruner. Now Galton. Jackie Groenen. Lovely footwork from the Netherlands midfielder. Now Batia. This is very well worked by Manchester United. Finish not there.
but they're creating the spaces to get opportunities, which, again, I repeat, they didn't really do in the first half. Yes, they've changed tactically. They have that more focal point of attack in the number 9 position for Alessia Russo, which frees up the likes of Jackie Green and the likes of Ella Toon, even Katie Zellum to get more, you know, certainly Katie Zellum and Ella Toon are excellent technical players who can score from distance. And they're opening up Chelsea. They've got to take heart from that.
And the flick from Kerr, almost feeding Kirby. Bad here for Manchester United. Look at Frank Kirby racing to get back. That attacking trio, all on the score sheet for Chelsea. 2 for Kerr, 1 for Kirby, 1 for Harder. But the way they track back and put in a defensive shift as well is as much a part of their game and is as integral to Chelsea as those goals. Here is Toon, such an integral player herself for Manchester United. Another deflection. And Berger will keep it in this time. Manchester United felt it had spun out for the corner. And you might as well let fly if you're Ella Toon. And there we go, Serena Wiegmann here. The new England manager as Chelsea give the ball away. Galton into Hansen. Difficult chance. But certainly plenty of players to watch for the new England boss, Serena Wiegmann, getting off to a superb start in the qualifiers. 8-0 win over North Macedonia, 10-0 win over Luxembourg. Strength in depth for England and strength in depth for Chelsea. Niamh Charles replaced by Iona Anderson.
Yeah, it's a great fresh start, isn't it, for any player playing in the WSL and outside of the WSL, with who's eligible for England and a new manager, and who wouldn't want to impress? Not just any manager, but a manager who's won the European Championships with Netherlands, got them for the first time ever to the final of the World Cup.
Harder's delivery in, looking for Kerr, falls to Kirby, just wide.
It's become a really open second half, chances for both teams. The counter-attacking, the midfield's missed out on occasions. Manchester United getting in down this right-hand side more often through Kirsty Hansen than down the left with Leah Galton. But deliveries, set pieces, Manchester United are exceptional at those. Leah Galton, left foot, Zellum, right foot. Got themselves another goal. You never know.
Can Chelsea get themselves another goal? Kerr to Kirby. Brighton made the run into the penalty area. Kirby back instead to Eriksson. Here is Leipold. Harder let it run. Jackie Groenham right behind him. Nice touch from Ella Toon. Strong play by Leipold. Home fans not happy. Referee is. Leipold does well to hold on to that. Gets it back again, the Germany midfielder. Here is Kirby, Brighton. Oops, had to watch it carefully.
I thought that had gone out for a corner. It was excellent defending. Brighton feels the same. Good tracking back by Hansen. She's been up and down this near side, closest to us, exceptionally well. Certainly the second half has had the freedom to do that. But Manchester United, as she displayed there, cannot switch off from their defensive duties. They did that once and they've been punished.
Here is Jess Carter for Chelsea, one of those who has received another opportunity under Serena Wiegmann. Called up for the first time in nearly 4 years for the latest international break. Didn't make it onto the pitch, but huge moment for Carter, winning that one cap back in November 2017. Still just 23 years of age, Jess Carter, and played under the current Manchester United boss, Mark Skinner at Birmingham. So impressive there. And she's on the ball once more, won the PFA Young Player of the Year during his time as manager there, but hasn't yet quite gone on to the heights that many would have predicted.
Well, she's not played consistently for any, for about 3 years. She was pretty much off the radar at Chelsea. And towards the end of the last season, played consistently, and now she's clearly one of the first names on the team sheet. She's played right back, she's played left back, and now she's playing central of a back three.
Here come Manchester United once more. Away by Guru Reiten, and back by Zellem. Here is Kirsty Hansen. Doubled up, and they know how dangerous she's been, particularly in this second half, and she's won the corner.
Yeah, really, really good play by Manchester United. I was thinking how favourable this formation is with the players that they do have, Manchester United, and I'm guessing the only reason that they didn't start with Alessia Russo is she's maybe limited on minutes.
Yeah, so when you've been out for so long, with a muscle injury as well, here's the challenge as Zellem sends the ball in. Sliding in was Russo, couldn't make clean contact. Batje. Torres Dottir, plenty of space to pick the cross. Away by Eriksson, here is Zellem. Another good delivery, blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box, and away by Kirby.
Oh, it's a let-off for Chelsea. That ball from Katie Zellem straight to Leah Galton at the back post. She just checked off to get herself a bit of space, Leah Galton. Gets deflected outright. Katie Zellem picks her out, whips it. And just to the 6-yard box. Great movement from Leah Galton, but completely unmarked. Just doesn't get a header enough on it, enough direction on it. Good block from Jess Carter.
Claim of handball against Harder, allowed to go by the referee. Manchester United pick up possession anyway. Here is Blundell. Right idea, wrong execution.
It certainly warmed up the crowd anyway this last few minutes. See, they've got a little bit of energy about them. Manchester United, a sense of belief that they can get something from this game.
And they're pressuring Chelsea in the same way that Chelsea pressured them, and it's paid off. Good work by Galton. Here is 2. Lovely back heel. Almost a lovely finish from Alessia Russo.
They're picking on Jonna Andersson, the sub who's just come on from the first misplaced pass that she had in possession, Jonna Andersson. Manchester United recognised that. And every time the ball's played, not just to her, lovely little back heel from Ella Toon, recognising, opens up a bit of space for Alessia Russo. Fires just over, but as I said, they're creating the chances, finding those spaces and making those opportunities, because you've got to earn them, and they're doing that by working as a front three.
Encouragement for those watching on. Still though, Chelsea with the 3-goal advantage. Leipold.
Well, that's it. You can't. You're not going to say that Chelsea have finished with regards to creating chances. So yes, it's a 3-goal deficit, but you've got to be as switched on to maintaining it. Maintaining Chelsea at only 4 goals.
And Katrin Berger just slowing the play down there. It is a packed schedule for Chelsea in particular. Birmingham in the FA Cup quarterfinals from last season in midweek, then Brighton at home in the WSL, then the German runners-up Wolfsburg as they get their Champions League group stage campaign underway.
And Katrin Berger, another former Birmingham player, really has improved, not just with match-winning saves and saves at the right time, but game management, we just saw there, running the clock down when you can. It's an integral part of being a goalkeeper, is how can you help your team out sometimes, and it's running that clock down.
Well, Manchester United hoping that another change might help them out. Right away from the on-rushing Russo. Hayley Ladd preparing to come on. And she will replace the Netherlands midfielder Jackie Groenen.
Yeah, I think Hayley Ladd will probably sit in front of the back 4 and allow Katie Zellum to push on a little bit more freedom. It's where she's most dangerous, Katie Zellum. From range, gets a little half a yard. Gets the shots on target.
Well, they have to try something, and that look at the watch will tell you that Mark Skinner knows as well as the rest of us they are running out of time. But they have shown in this second half, Manchester United, that they are capable of getting in and around that penalty area, causing Chelsea a few problems. And had Chelsea not restored that 3-goal advantage as quickly as they did after Rousseau scored for Manchester United early on in the second half, it could have been a tenser affair. But as it is, Chelsea still firmly in control. Here come Manchester United. That lovely turn by Rousseau. Works room for the shot! And a fabulous shot it was. So unfortunate for Alessia Russo and Manchester United.
Oh, brilliant bit of individual play. Kirsty Hansen does really well to get a toe in, but it's all about Alessia Russo. Keeping a distance, shielding the ball between the player and the ball. She gets a yard off, powers away and absolutely rockets that. Berger in the Chelsea goal would have had absolutely no chance.
Warning signs for Chelsea, despite the 3-goal advantage. Encouragement for Manchester United. Right away for the defending champions. Little tug by Torres Dossier. Well, Nina Harder certainly thought there was one. Still making the point to the assistant. Manchester United come forward. Blundell looking for the run of Toon. Berger's come a long way. Centre half's header that.
Good reading of the play. Simple as that. It's the goalkeeper's job nowadays, isn't it, to be that sweeper keeper? Exceptional.
Kirby looking for Harder. Easy for Mary Earps. Batje. Here is Zellum. Batje will chase. Anderson will get there. Wow, Anderson furious. Well, that ball had clearly gone out of play, and eventually the flag does go up. Manchester United's attack is curtailed.
Phew. I think Anna Anderson will be thinking. I do think it did go out, it looked like it, but what seeing Alessia Russo's attempt, get some power on that, not a lot of backlift. Does really well to keep that space, give herself a yard to be able to get a shot off.
Here is Ladd, the substitute, looking for Russo once more.
Certainly changed the dynamic of Man United this second half, having that player pinning back, Alessia Russo pinning back the back line of Chelsea. It just creates more spaces in between for the midfielders to get on. You know, before Ella Toon was a makeshift number 9, trying to kind of drop back into the pockets of space, allowing Chelsea's back line to push up, which in turn condenses the space in midfield.
Well, Russo had left that ball there because she realised she was offside, but nothing much coming of it for Manchester United anyway. And the free kick is Chelsea's. But when we talk about where Manchester United are as a project, 2 fourth-place finishes and making up a lot of ground, in particular last season, finishing just a point behind Arsenal, who took that final Champions League place in 3rd. Making up a big gap to the top 3 compared to the previous season, and the trajectory is positive for Manchester United as Eriksson appeals for the decision. Will go out for a Manchester United throw.
It absolutely is. The trajectory is positive. Got to put it in perspective. WSL's been around for 10 years now. Those 3 teams you mentioned, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, have been in the Women's Super League for all of that time, and for at least half of it, all those teams have been fully professional. So it is a catch-up period, and as we said, if I'm sure financially, commercially, in every sense of how something can improve, the Women's Super League has improved. And so Manchester United are coming in as first-timers just 3 years ago. And they're trying to make up ground, but, you know, finishing fourth in the 2 opening seasons was pretty much as good as it could get.
Well, again, Chelsea drawing on their squad depth. Jessie Fleming, who won Olympic gold with Canada in Tokyo this summer, and Bethany England, who scored 3 times for England over the international break as the flag is up against Leah Galton. Tight decisions here going against Manchester United.
Yeah, I think she had just strayed offside, was watching it as she wanted, a couple of yards offside. An easy one for the assistant referee on this side.
Not so tight. But they are getting in those positions where if they can hold the line, hold the runs, they can cause Chelsea some problems. It would take an almighty comeback, though, to prevent Chelsea picking up their 2nd win of the season. And it has been, you have to say, Rachel, a perfect response from Emma Hayes' side after that opening day defeat to Arsenal at the Emirates.
Yeah, because she'll have been disappointed not only with the result, but with the game management. There was, none of it. Every time a goal was scored, there was a goal conceded, and it was back and forth. So she'll be looking now. Yes, they've conceded in this second half. It's 1-1 in this second half. But from this point onwards, she will be absolutely desperate to not concede, to show that they can see games out. And yes, there's a 3-goal margin, but that's how she'll be visualising it, Emma Hayes.
Manchester United doing their best to reduce that margin, but yet can't keep hold of it. Well anticipated Torres dossier. And chance for Chelsea to make a double substitution, or perhaps not quite. Well, they had the chance. I think there is a last-minute discussion as to whether that's the change they definitely want to make.
Calling another couple of substitutes down from the warm-up area.
Two. Russo tried to feed Galton, well defended by Anderson. Here is Ladd. Blundell. Ladd once more. Lovely touch, first time by Toon to Batje. Galton up against Kirby back there defending. Batje. Just no room for Manchester United, and Chelsea could hit them on the counter here. Won't be an offside. Kerr is in her own half. Ingle.
Ball to Kerr from Hardy. Just needed a bit more pace on it into a path for her to run onto.
And this is game management.
It is, absolutely. Talked about Anna Katzenberger, game management. So the last time was a goal kick for her. She went long, playing themselves into trouble.
Well intercepted by Ladd. Toon forward again, that quick outlet looking for Russo. Zellem. Batje. Galton tried the 1-2.
Chelsea just need to keep the ball now. Try not to get frustrated, try not to force things. Keep the tempo with it. Manchester United will a renewed sense of confidence in this second half.
Nicely worked by Anderson and Leipold. Sloppy ball in the end, easy for Torres-Dottir. Here is Blundell. Russo, the runner ahead of her once more. Blundell doing the running herself. Again, it's that final ball just lacking in quality.
Quality, or it's time on the pitch together. Hannah Blundell, Leslie Russo coming back from injury, still limited. How many times have they been through that passage of play in training? Not enough.
Well, Bethany England and Jessie Fleming still waiting to come on. There will be a triple substitution, though, for Chelsea, so a slight change. More allowed 5 substitutions in the WSL. Kerr trying to slide it through to Harder. Miscontrol from the Australia captain. Manchester United will bring it away. Here is Ladd.
Lovely feet from Ella Toon there to keep her team out of trouble. Really good defending from Torres-Dottir with Ella Harder.
Leipold. Well, run back by Batje. Hansen. Carter did well. Anderson with the clearance. Little joy for Manchester United at the moment in the Chelsea half. But that's done well there. Toon fouled by Millie Bright. That's always going to be an uneven matchup physically.
Over-eager Millie Bright there. It was good play from Manchester United to turn the ball over from Chelsea. And Chelsea were hounding around them, trying to win it back. Just a little bit late. And as you said, physical mismatch.
Well, here come these substitutions, and Fran Kirby, having notched her 50th WSL goal, makes way. Bethany England is on.
Georgia Fox is the other player to come on.
Yes, along with Jessie Fleming. Manchester United with the free kick. Here is Bethany England having just come on. Fleming, her fellow substitute. Manningham picks it up for Manchester United. Toon. Sliding challenge by Georgia Fox, leads to the corner. Just 18 years of age, came through Chelsea's academy. And Katrin Berger just got something on it for Chelsea. But again, it's positive from Manchester United.
It's wonderful to see Georgia Fox on there. Don't know her personally, but imagine setting off in an academy at, what, the age of 7, and then knowing that there's a professional route, knowing you could be a fully professional footballer, playing for one of the best teams in the world, going all the way through the system. And then, I think, coming on for one of the world's best players, Pernilla Harder. So it's wonderful, isn't it, that young girls can now dream and aspire to be professional footballers. You know, it hasn't always been like that, but can't look back. Got to enjoy what it is today, the infrastructure that is today, and what the possibilities are.
Jessie Fleming, the other player to come on for Chelsea. What a summer she had with Canada at the Olympics. 3 nerveless penalties as well, as they won Olympic gold in the semi-final against the USA. Canada's first win over the world champions for 20 years. And scored in the final itself against Sweden and in the penalty shootout as well. 23 years old. Bright future ahead of her, and already she's showing what she can do. All live WSL action for you next Saturday. That is a change from Sunday. Saturday at 5 o'clock on BBC Two. Aston Villa against Arsenal. Manchester United putting on the pressure once again. Not too much pressure on Ann-Katrin Berger with that cross.
Yeah, it's just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, respecting everything. A little bit of time management as well for Ann-Katrin Berger. But these are the sort of polishes, the things that Emma Hayes wants her team to get to be the best at.
Here is Battier for Manchester United. Russo. She might go for goal once more, trying to slide in tune. Free kick goes the way of Chelsea. Follow-up shot was blocked in the end.
Didn't really see much in that. It just seemed more of a coming together. I've not seen the replay, but that strike looked like it was goal-bound. That's thinking they were on play, didn't it, Leah Galton?
Well, Manchester United's turn to make a change. Leah Galton replaced by Carrie Jones, another 18-year-old, turned 18 earlier this month. Wales international, played for them over the international break, and Manchester United's Academy Player of the Year last season. And again, another for whom Manchester United have high hopes. But it's been a learning curve for them this game. Third match under their new manager, Mark Skinner. Plenty to reflect on after that 100% start to the season, 2 wins from 2, definitively coming to an end at Leigh Sports Village this afternoon.
Well, they were certainly no doubt outplayed in the first half. Done well to match them in this second half.
Ingle almost winding one up there. Here is Bethany England up against Battier. Right. Lovely play. England to Fox. Easy for Earps to watch wide, but lovely interchange of passes there from Chelsea.
Yeah, it was. It's the speed of the pass and the one touch, the wall pass as it were, and the movement off of it. You know, pass and move, that's what we learn from being very, very young in any sort of invasion game, team game. But they do it with an intensity and a sharpness. So effective down those wings. Just that final ball wasn't of the quality replicated the move.
Final change for Chelsea. 2-goal Sam Kerr replaced by Drew Spence. On 4 goals already for the season, Sam Kerr. 3 games played. Ingle wins the free kick for Chelsea. England flicks it on. Earps is there.
Leslie Russo's done exceptionally well this second half. Manchester United fans will be itching to see more of her. Hopefully she'll be fit enough to start some games. Certainly with Lauren James leaving, short on out-and-out number 9s, Manchester United.
Zellem over this free kick for the home side. Russo is in there again. Good take from Berger, but really providing that threat, as you say, Alessia Russo, for Manchester United.
Jess Carter as well for Chelsea has been unflappable today. She's shielded the ball exceptionally well. She's been really composed in possession. She's defended exceptionally well. She's certainly a player that if Serena Wiegman enjoyed having her in the England squad this week. I know Emma Hayes is a huge fan of what she does.
Here is Fleming for Chelsea. England's Spence. Lovely goal. Chelsea have 5. And Drew Spence has her first of the season. She's closing in on 50 Chelsea goals. That takes her to 49. And their longest serving player has put the cherry on top of the cake. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 5.
It's a good little setup. I think United again a little bit tired. You could see how disjointed their back line was. Nobody pressed her down. Lovely little layoff from Beth England. And Drew Spence, being only been on the pitch a few minutes, was not going to miss the opportunity to dispatch that. Her minutes have been limited with Chelsea in recent seasons, but she's a huge presence and character, a wonderful servant of the club. Seen it in every guise of this club, from amateur to semi-professional to now fighting on all fronts, as you earlier said.
Manchester United still fighting for a goal. Toon should have been a goal. Oh, touched over by Berger. Excellent save by the Chelsea goalkeeper, denying Ella Toon.
Fantastic. She's not had a huge amount to do, and Katrin Berger, but sign of a wonderful goalkeeper. When's required, has the agility and the concentration to be able to set, strong hand, tip that over.
Manchester United corner. Berger there again. And she's in some discomfort here, Ann-Katrin Berger.
Nah, she's just buying herself a little bit of time. Did really well to come and collect that nice early shout. Commands her box exceptionally well. Gets a little push off of, I think it's a Man United player, give herself a bit of space. That's what Kirsty Hansen's there for, is to try and stop Ann-Katrin Berger doing that.
Well, she's had a good couple of minutes, Ann-Katrin Berger. But your player of the match won't be a goalkeeper this afternoon, Rachel Brown-Finnis.
No, I'm desperate to have a goalkeeper one day as a player of the match. But today, player of the match, Pernille Harder, in the way that she rallied that front three. She gave them that energy and that impetus to really rattle Manchester United and start the free-flowing goals that came in that first half. She was that catalyst, and individually, brilliant goal that she scored.
A well-deserved Barclays player of the match, Pernille Harder of Chelsea. And a well-deserved 3 points for Chelsea it will be this afternoon. Now Hansen goes down. And looks to be in some difficulty here, Kirsty Hansen. She's taken a couple of knocks in this match. Well, this is the last thing he needs.
Oh, she looks in some distress. She's holding the back of her calf or her knee. Hard to really tell from the replay. She looks reluctant to want to move or be moved. That's a good sign.
Well, she has been one of their bright sparks in what has been a difficult afternoon for Manchester United. Going down with a real cry of pain, but thankfully back up to her feet. And she has 4 minutes to get through until the end of this match. They do have other substitution options should they wish to use them, Manchester United. But a thumbs up from the medical staff.
Yeah, do you know what, sometimes, we didn't hear a scream, she wasn't crying in agony, but sometimes you feel maybe a loose body in your knee, something where you think it's a really serious injury, and actually once you get over that kind of fright, have a little feel, have a little gingerly get yourself back moving, kind of think, all right, I'm not severely injured.
Chelsea on the move here, England. Fleming, Spence, could she be in for her 50th Chelsea goal? Good save, Mary Earps, comes to Fleming, it's 6. Brilliant counter-attacking goal from the champions. And it's an emphatic victory against Manchester United. 6-1.
This'll hurt Manchester United, it'll hurt Mark Skinner, it'll hurt his team. But Chelsea have been sensational. The 5 substitutes that Emma Hayes has brought on have made such a difference. Jessie Fleming, one of them, Drew Spence, one of them, have scored, you know, goals to kind of draw parity. Same in the first half, 3 goals, second half, 3 goals, different personnel scoring them. Same result, catching what looks a slightly ragged and tired Manchester United back line.
And another tight offside call going against Manchester United. But Jessie Fleming getting her first goal for Chelsea. And rounding off a very satisfactory afternoon for the champions.
At one stage, halfway through the second half, we're talking about a Manchester United comeback. And Emma Hayes answered that remark with the personnel changes. We talked about how emphatically Chelsea have started the opening few minutes of the game, the closing few minutes of the first half, the opening few minutes of the second half. And we're seeing what they're doing to Manchester United in the closing 5-10 minutes of this second half.
Blundell.
Chelsea fans are making themselves heard. Both teams should be really proud of their sets of supporters. Arguably 2 of the best sets of supporters in the league. Can't have favourites, but I remember coming to here at Leigh Sports Village for Manchester United's first ever game, and to meet, you know, a whole new generation of fans who'd, some of them not even seen a women's game before, and to see where they are now.
Well, where they are this afternoon is in disappointment, because Chelsea have quite simply blown Manchester United away. Jessie Fleming rounding things off with the 6th goal, her first goal for Chelsea. 2 for Sam Kerr, 1 for Kirby, 1 for Pernilla Harder, 1 for Drew Spence. Russo had made it 3-1 early in the second half, but that was as good as it got for Manchester United. And a very satisfactory afternoon for Chelsea boss Emma Hayes. Rachel Brown-Finnis, so much to praise about Chelsea's play this afternoon.
Absolutely. Chelsea were just far too much quality, too much energy. You could see the precision and execution of certain traps and game plans that have been well-oiled, well-rehearsed, well-practiced, and today, well-executed, well-implemented. But there are positives. For Mark Skinner's side, on his 3rd game together with the squad. A lot of changes have happened, but there were patches, there were portions of that game early on in that second half when that tactical change had happened. you could see signs of what we're going to see long term of Manchester United. With having Alessia Russo in that position, it gave Ella Toone more chance to be effective, Katie Zellum to be more effective. So there are positives. And Manchester United need to hold on to those positives. They've come up against a team who were on for the quadruple last year, in the Champions League final. And Manchester United, in comparison, are only in their fledgling years of operating in the Women's Super League.
Well, the home side's 100% start to the WSL season is over emphatically. The champions, Chelsea, comprehensive winners, 6-1 it finishes at Leigh Sports Village.
Vicky Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis, thank you very, very much indeed. The Chelsea fans really making themselves heard here. I'm joined pitchside by Farrah Williams and Kelly Smith. Farrah, I mean, you know, the girls said it in commentary, emphatic, comprehensive for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think they showed their intent in the first minute of the game with the high press and then the early goal, and I think they carried that through. 5 of the 6 goals that they scored today come from that aggressive press in different areas and winning and then scoring in transition. They were fantastic today, and you think off the back of an international where they haven't had much time to prep and they had to travel up to Manchester, probably last night, probably didn't help, but that you wouldn't have thought with the performance they put out that it was anything like that.
I'd agree with you, Farrah. The transition, when Chelsea lost the ball, they got numbers back behind. I know Emma Hayes spoke about the Arsenal result. They didn't do that. They lost the ball too easy and were too slow to get back. Today, this was a different Chelsea side from the opening loss against the Emirates. And you can see the intent, the desire, the passion. They wanted to come back off this international break and make their statement. And they certainly have to the rest of the league today with those 6 goals.
They suffocated United, didn't they? Particularly in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke about it. They were phenomenal in their press. I think the attitude to do it together so aggressively and be so front-footed. The traps they sent for Man United, and Man United didn't want to change the way they played, which I didn't think helped them. And Chelsea just was all over it. And as I mentioned, the goals come from that.
Yeah, well, great. You know, Emma Hayes obviously having a great team talk. Millie Bright nodding ahead, all the players in agreement. I mean, I'm sure Emma Hayes will always want more, but that is a brilliant, brilliant first half from them. You know, let's take a look at the goals then, because, you know, if you look at the first half, it was that high press from Chelsea, but United did have their opportunities and they started the second half really well.
They did with Russo, was it, that took the shot that hit the bar? But they were, yeah, from the start of this first half, they were on the front foot the whole time, high pressing, like Chelsea did to Manchester United in the first half, and it got them straight back into the game. You can see here they on the front foot, playing the ball forward, and it's a great little dink in there. And Millie Bright, it's not an own goal, but I think
you can see that from the changes from half-time. Yeah. This is a change that Mark made at half-time. He brought Russo on up front and played her in the 9, which allowed Ella Toone to get in that pocket where she's so effective. And as I mentioned there, Russo just stretching a little bit, stretching that Chelsea back line. Ella Toone finding herself in pockets, finding a great slide pass between her Chelsea centre-half.
Where is Ella Toone's best position, would you say?
I think as an advanced midfielder, I wouldn't say so much as a 10 pocket's really good for her, but she likes to join in. She likes to get into the box, and her timing into the box, for me, is phenomenal, and that's where I think she's at her best position.
Oh, we can see we've got a nice guest here. Is that a bit high for you to do your singing?
Yeah, clearly. That's right. It's fine.
Good to see you, Emma.
Fine.
Look, you had a team full of internationals that have just come back from a break that you didn't have much time to prepare. I mean, Farrah's been talking about it. Yeah. How has this kind of the lead up to this game been for you, and how proud are you of the high-end
We're used to it. Everyone talks about that. We know how to do this. I've got an amazing dressing room. Let's talk about Drew Spence, Beth England, Jessie Fleming, Georgia Phlox, Jonna Anderson coming off the bench, raising the bar for the last 2 goals. We got world-class attackers, and that's what they showed today. I didn't think we were very good, to be honest with you. I thought we were poor in the first half by our standards, and we were 3-0 up, so I expect another level.
What is the other level then? Because in that first half, United were not able to handle that high press, so what do you think you would have done differently?
I think we're a better team than we've ever been. I think we're miles better than we were last year. So if our build-up and our possession in the ball is something we've improved, I wasn't happy with it in the first half, but with Sam, Fran, that goal from Pernilla. I've seen her score goals like that. Reminds me of that.
I was going to say, did you give her a free roll in that first half just to find those pockets of space? Come on, tell us. You know, because she started on the left, but then she come into the middle and she was playing off the shoulders.
I changed something within the flow of the game because I felt we were getting a bit overloaded, and then put Pernilla in a position where she's at her best to carry balls, and I felt there were spaces that she could exploit, and we gave her some instruction to do that.
She was so powerful, so direct.
She's been, listen, first thing we need to say is it takes time to settle in this country. Pernilla this pre-season has been unbelievable. I'm so proud of her for that goal because I know how much she put into it. Our last game against Everton, I don't know how she didn't score, did everything but. There's others that take all the credit and whatever, but Pernilla is top player.
She is a top player and so involved in the build-up play as well. Let's talk about another top player, Sam Kerr, scoring as well just after United replied. Now, the replays seem to suggest, we haven't seen them yet, but they seem to suggest that she may have been offside. And I know you're a big advocate of goal line technology, of VAR. I know, but it went in your favour today, didn't it? No, open it up, tell us.
Look, I think... I understand we've got to make our officials full-time first before VAR, but to be fair, I think we should have scored sooner. When she gets her first goal in the game, I think she had chances to score a little earlier. Yes, it's clearly offside. If you look at the replay, look at the position of the linesperson. But listen, we've got to keep putting the investment into our officials and support the FA to develop them for the next level, and then hopefully technology will follow that.
Yeah, Emma, it's been great to talk to you. Really a comprehensive victory. Enjoy your trip back home. Thank you very much, Emma. We'll see you later. We can catch up now with the player of the match. Pernilla Harder is with Joe Curry.
Pernilla, congratulations on the win. How much did you enjoy playing in that one?
Yeah, it was a great win. 6-1 away against Man United. It's an amazing performance. To defend. Sometimes we're so good in transition as well. So I think what it's doing against us, a way to solve it and score a lot of goals.
You scored a wonderful goal this afternoon. Fran Kirby and Sam Kerr also on the score sheet. How much do you enjoy playing alongside those two?
Oh my! That's two amazing players. We just have fun in there. But yeah, I mean also the whole team. I think we have a really great team now. You also see with the players come into the game, they have an impact, score goals, work hard. I think that's one of our biggest strengths this year, that we have such a big squad.
That was such a dominating victory, but Emma's just said there are parts of the game where she didn't think Chelsea played very well. How much better can you get this season? How much more to come is there?
I don't hear what you're saying, to be honest. I don't know what to answer. I can't hear you.
I was going to say, how much better can Chelsea get this season?
How much better we can get? I think we can get better all the time. We develop from every game, from every training we have. I think we play better now than last season, and I think we will get better and better.
You are the Barclays Player of the Match. Here's your trophy. Congratulations.
For me?
For you.
Thank you.
She is such a star player, isn't she? We heard Emma with so many plaudits for her, and rightly so. And she did score that wonder goal, the one that you like that one. But let's talk about Drew Spence, because that's another thing that Emma had mentioned. She came off the bench and scored a goal like that, making it 5-1.
She's a seasoned player. She's not got the starts that she wanted to the last few seasons. She's a squad player, but she plays her role well, doesn't she? She pops up with goals in the midfield. From the midfield, she's physical, she's demanding, and to get on the score sheet, she's delighted here. She just pops up, and it's a great finish, bottom corner, and she's so pleased to score. She goes and celebrates with the fans, but yeah, really pleasing for her because her role has changed for Chelsea over the years.
Yeah, she's had to be really patient, like plenty of the players in this Chelsea side, and that's one thing Emma does really well. She manages a lot of big names who want to start, but they all have to wait their turn.
Yeah, they do, and managing players, top players that want to be involved in every game isn't an easy job. This hasn't taken Emma a short space of time. Emma's been here now. This is going into her 10th season as a Chelsea coach, and players like Drew Spence's role within that time has definitely changed. But for Drew Spence to keep herself at the levels, to come into games and be able to impact like she did today with a goal and an assist for Fleming, it's fantastic. It's credit to her in terms of her, what she does away from just training with the team, because you have to do a little bit more. You can't just do what the rest of the team are doing, because you have to be above that level to keep yourself at the fitness levels that you're needed to come in for 5 or 10 minutes like she's been doing so. Yeah,
well, let's look at Fleming's goal that Drew Spence assisted. It made it 6-1. This was a really good counter-attacking goal, wasn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, it was. Chelsea breaking numbers. They get numbers forward as quickly as they can. You see Fleming just on the outside there. As soon as she plays that ball in, she's on the overlap, and she's still there carries her run on, and she gets her just rewards there. You know, like Emma said, she's come on, and both subs have come on and been an impact, and that's delightful for Emma Hayes to want and to work with. And, you know, she fully deserved that goal.
Yeah, I think the willingness, you see on the counter-attack, I mean, the counter in terms of Drew Spence and the energy and speed that she shows to get herself within the box to get a shot away, and then Fleming following up. You can get players that would assume that Drew Spence is going to score that goal and don't make the box. Fleming's anticipated the keeper potentially saving, or Drew Spence maybe not executing, and she's there for the rebound. Fantastic team effort today.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, so United with plenty of work to do, but a comprehensive victory for Chelsea. And let's look at what is coming up on the BBC throughout the next week.
100,000 runners, 100,000 reasons to push yourself, to make a difference, to win. Whatever the goal, this year, more than ever, we run together. The London Marathon, next Sunday. Coverage starts at 8 AM on BBC Two and iPlayer.
So the London Marathon is next Sunday. Before that, there's highlights from all the weekend's WSL matches on the Women's Football Show tonight at 11:30 on BBC One. We return next Saturday with live WSL coverage between Aston Villa and Arsenal. That's on BBC Two at 5 PM. And Kate Cross and Alex Hartley talk about life off and on the cricket field with star guests in No Balls, the cricket podcast. That is available now on BBC Sounds. OK, there's plenty more football to come on the BBC next week, of course, in the form of the Women's FA Cup, the quarter-finals. You're going to be joining me, aren't you, Kelly?
Big London derby.
Big London derby. Well, interesting, yeah, so Arsenal against Tottenham, a repeat of last season as well. It's interesting because, obviously, the men's game is going to be taking place later. There's a lot more beef in that one. But in terms of the women's game, there's not so much history, is there? But there is still that point of the fact that they are still North London clubs.
Yeah, there isn't that history there because Tottenham, certainly when I was playing, were a few divisions below. It's only been the last few seasons that they've been up in the FA WSL, so that rivalry isn't there as much. I think the Arsenal players want it to be there, and so do the Spurs female players. But any time that you play in those games, it is fierce, it is physical. You know, Arsenal have really developed, they've really strengthened their squad this season. It's pleasing to see, being that I'm a former Arsenal player. You know, Nikita Paris coming in, Iwabushi, Manium from Norway, so they have more attacking prowess now to compete in this league and try and win the league.
Yeah, OK, just very quickly, Farah, so just reflecting on this game again, for Manchester United, if you're Mark Skinner, what lessons have you learned?
I think if we in the preview show, when he spoke about, this team's about learning, about developing and taking opportunities, I think this is an opportunity for them to learn from the levels that they want to get to and where Mark Skinner want to take them. Chelsea are at a different level to where Manchester United are at right now. And this will be a massive learning for them. And they'll go away and they'll analyse, their performance and they'll come back bigger and better.
Yeah. OK, well, there's plenty of work then and plenty of reflection to do for Mark Skinner. They did get that goal back, but it was a comprehensive victory by Chelsea United today here at the Leigh Sports Village. They were really undone by that high press and high energy of this Chelsea side. We're back with plenty more women's football during the week. Kelly will be joining me for the FA Cup quarter-finals. And, of course, we're at Villa Park next week. Farah, Kelly, thank you for joining us. Bye-bye. We'll see you soon.
Chelsea take the lead inside the opening 2 minutes. That is a fabulous goal. Is this to be the third? Surely yes. Unbelievable. Russo deflection in. Fortunate for Manchester United. Chelsea restore their 3-goal advantage. Turned by Russo. Works for him for the shot. Chelsea have 5. Comes to Fleming.